Hey, good morning, fuckers, and welcome to another day at the Daily BM. It's colonoscopy week. Woo! Time to go up my butt like a coconut. Wait, what? I hope that thing's not like a fucking coconut. I can tell you that. Hey. What's up, Mikey?
I thought you were just going to monologue this one. I was like, okay.
You know,
we're going to be talking about Brad's booty hole this entire episode.
You know, I'm over 50 and I have never had a medical procedure, and this thing is giving me so much anxiety. It's ridiculous.
Really? You're over 50?
I mean, not that I've ever had anything coming in or out of my butt. Wait, what? But no pun intended. I just am seriously have anxiety over this because I've never been put under. And I know what you're thinking. Stop being such a puss. You know, that's another thing too. Why do people say the word stop being a pussy? Because a pussy is tough as hell.
We already had this conversation.
I know.
I brought that up.
I know. And every time I say it, it makes me want to go, we're going to say scrotum, right? Isn't that what we agreed on?
Yes.
Stop being such a scrotum. I don't know why I'm being one about this. Because I'm like
scared. You're dazed and confused.
I am super dazed and confused. I have a high anxiety. You know? High anxiety.
Oh my God. You were shot out of a cannon today.
I still am with the coffee left over from the other day. But whatever. So, yeah. Medical procedures. Good times. Do you know they actually called me and asked me about my insurance?
Oh, they did?
Yeah, I had her laughing.
What'd you tell them?
I said, yeah, I don't have any. And she was like, pause for a minute.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. I go, yeah, no. I don't have any. I don't have any anymore. Is that cool? And she's like, I was like, I'm just messing with you. I was like, I have my insurance updated. Do you need the member ID? And she started laughing. I was like, oh, you guys are in for a lot of bullshit when I get in there. That's all I'm going to tell you.
They're going to knock you out fast.
Yeah, they're going to be like, we have to give this guy super drugs and get him like calm down, and then we're going to just knock his ass out. Hey, Brad, I'm going to be like, yeah, they're going to be like,
that's pretty much how it's going to go.
They're not even going to like count down. They're just going to be like, man, we're going to go ahead and inject this shit and get it going. Cool.
Yeah. I mean, no joke. That's pretty much how it's going to go.
Yeah. Oh, God. I'm so fucking nervous, man.
Don't be, dude.
You know what? We talked. I'm going to bring this up. Fuck it. So they're talking about TikTok, right? That it got passed through the Congress, the bill to shut it down in the United States. And I'm going to bring this up again. Did you know that the TikTokers, the people that are revolting, the little crybaby whiners, you know, are urging migrants to squat on houses?
Really?
Yeah. Or to abuse squatting laws, like to abuse them.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why they're telling people to abuse the squatting laws, but that's what they're doing.
Oh, but why? That makes no sense, though.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's like, okay, but that's coming from the House, stuff. But I'm laughing at it because I'm like going, okay, these are the same.
How does abusing the thing make a difference?
I don't know. I just saw it like a headline come across, and I went, "You got to be shitting me." It's like you're that upset about losing a social platform. Really? Guess what? You can go outside, or you can listen to us talk shit. I mean, but seriously, it's like, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it. Because
tell me about your feelings.
Okay, so let me tell you why I have mixed feelings about the shutting down of TikTok.
Uh-huh.
Unless they can completely prove that it's owned by Chinese and the data is being leaked, I have a problem with the government intervening with a corporation, telling them that they're just going to ban them and shut them down completely. And there's a side of me that thinks that might be charged by other social platforms. I'm not going to mention their names. I'll just say it rhymes with Lace Hook. And I'm going to say that, like, I think that
coffee.
They pay billions and millions, or not billions, but millions probably of dollars to lobby, obviously.
Yeah.
And what are they lobbying for? To shut them down. because what happens if
True.
TikTok goes away? Now we know that they're pulling a lot of money now. Like even TikTok has like what they were started back in, what was it, 2017, I believe, or 2019?
Uh-huh.
What they were paying into lobbyists, they were showing bar graphs the other day and what they're paying in now. Like it's like
Oh,
it's like
Jesus.
huge what they're paying into lobbyists now to lobby for TikTok. So my point is what if you have that much pull in the government for lobbying, and let's just say Lace Hook is lobbying as well to get them out of there, because what would happen? Advertisers would do what? Move to their platform to start using them.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And then
yeah.
there goes their revenue.
And all the users will
All
have
the
to go to
users
there
have to go to either
instead of being split.
Yeah, and either go to IG or they'll have to go to another source to create their content creation. And also I think that it's actually great to have those multiple platforms where you can spread the wealth, so to speak. Because what happens is now you created one super giant again. You know what I mean? So good luck with that. They can control costs however they want. Really. Hey, you know what?
You created a monopoly.
Let's go ahead and turn the screw on the advertisers a little bit and make them spend more money, which means more revenue, which means, you know what I mean?
More.
So it's crazy. I just, I realize I say, you know what I mean a lot too. I got to stop doing that.
Yeah, you do.
The reality is they're spending a ton of money in lobbying for their platforms. But I just have a problem with the US government sticking their nose into it if they don't have proof. And I mean, according to, what is it, Soundbite or whatever, DanceBite, whatever they're called, that owns them. Oh, sorry about that. I didn't mean to throw confetti. I have gestures on. I went da 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 da. Here it comes.
I saw it.
Yeah.
I'm watching it live.
Yeah, here we are. But if they don't have the proof, then you can't. I feel like you shouldn't be able to go in there and tell a business to shut down and ban them from a country.
Nope. 100% no.
So, they moved all the first request was, let's move all the data to Oracle servers that reside in the United States. Right?
Yep.
Okay. So now that data resides here, it doesn't get transmitted anywhere else. Okay. So it's owned by a foreign adversary, whatever you want to say. But if there's no proof that data is being transferred to another server outside the United States or being transmitted and used in any other shape or form to go towards a communist country, if that's how we feel, whatever it may be, then what's the problem? I mean, seriously, what's the problem? Because they're not leaking the data, and we completely consume content on the daily. They have a right as a country. I hate to say it, even though it's a communist country, they have the right, if they want to be communist, to not show what they show in the United States. So if we, I love when people say, well, they don't show their version of TikTok, like what they show in the United States. I'm gonna be like, because we are idiots and consume idiotic crap. It's true. The same content you can get on TikTok, you can get on the other platforms. I've seen it. I know. I've seen the duplications.
My feeling is it's more like a it's more like a Pearl Harbor situation with the Japanese tourists coming in and taking pictures of our bases and information, but on a much more technological advanced situation. Because who's to say that the app on your phone, because you're giving it all the rights to your camera and all access, you're basically giving full access.
Correct.
What's to say that they're not gathering tons and tons and tons of intel on infrastructure, location, movement tracking, and they're able to identify people in key positions and infrastructure and all sorts of things to do something similar to Pearl Harbor.
Okay, well, let me retort. So the thing is that, again, if the data is being stored on servers by Oracle, who is an American-owned company, right, that resides here in the States, and there's no proof of that data leaving the servers from those apps, regardless of what data they collect, if there's no proof that that data is being transmitted or sent to another communist country or foreign adversary, why does it matter? Because Meta, for Instagram, Facebook, Clapper, they're a Japanese company. You have Snapchat, you have all these other platforms out there, YouTube, even Rumble, things of that nature that are collecting data just like anybody else. They're all doing it. So who's to say if they're abiding by the laws that the government created and there's no proof, I don't think it matters. Because you have to show evidence that that data is being leaked and being moved. So if that company is open and saying, you can come and check all our data, or you can have a carnivore program running, checking that data to make sure it's not ever leaving these servers from internally from the United States, why does it matter? Unless it's because, and now hear me out on this, unless it's because it's funding them. But we get taxed as corporations, right? We pay into governments.
I mean, my conspiracy theory, I don't have a good argument because I feel like it's complete bullshit, to be honest with you. I think it's strictly for the government to control Meta and
control what
censor what we see, how we see it, who we see it from, because they're already doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Mark Zuckerberg is already doing that with the way he's got his system set up. It's limiting certain viewpoints and expanding on other viewpoints. It's the biggest reason that I'm not a fan of being on social media and why I really don't like Meta. So I don't think it's right. I think that I'm in the same boat with you. I was trying to come up with an argument and I was far reaching, but I don't have a good argument because I think it's unconstitutional to restrict people's access to the system, to the program, like to the software,
the platform. Yeah.
I think it's unconstitutional platform. I think I kind of like what Elon Musk does with Twitter.
Yes.
Now, the converse side of that is yes, it's the wild, wild west. But his community standards for community fact checking seems to be working really well, because the minute I see something go up, there's like, hey, this isn't factual and here's the truth and and it like literally is like right there, like boom.
And they do have a setting in there for if it's a sensitive type thing. So like pornography or whatever. Because people, I've seen women and dudes. I mean, I've seen shafts on there too. I'm not saying I'm searching that, but whatever. The algorithms and things that I, because we talk about stuff that I get certain things. But if I really don't want to see it, all I got to do is just flip a switch in my settings. Yeah. Now, do I think there should be something for kids control? Like an alternate thing that they have to download and prove? But I feel like, how do you get around that? How are you going to prove that without pulling your driver's license and proving yourself? And then again, now they got data from your driver's license and your barcode because they make you do a front and back shot.
Right.
But hey, that's okay. So,
I mean, honestly, my true opinion on it should be like that should be at the device level. So I think when you go in by your phone, I think the phone should be keyed towards the person, and the carrier should be responsible for that, for locking in the age. So when you go buy the device, it should be registered to the individual and locked in for the individual, because you have your Apple IDs and you have your Samsung, your Gmail, your Android IDs, your Google accounts. I think those are the people that you buy the devices from should be the ones that lock in and verify that it's you that's using it. They already have all the biometrics. They already have everything else,
Yes, but I understand you got the biometrics and you got the Face ID and all that kind of stuff. But how do you enforce that from a store level? Like, I mean, are you forcing them to bring the child in and say, hey, this is them?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Because I'm sitting here going, okay, but how do you, somebody's going to think of something to circumvent it. I guess it would be kind of raw in the beginning, right?
No, but the thing is, it doesn't matter if somebody circumvents it, because then the onus is on them.
Oh, okay.
Just because if you break, okay, so you go in there and say, I don't want to do this. I don't want my kid to be verified on this. And then your kid gets exposed to something he's not supposed to. Then it's on you as a parent. You opted out of the safety check.
So the responsibility goes to the parent. Shocker.
It always goes to the parent. At the end of the day, it's up to us to take care of our kids. It's not up to society.
Right on, man.
I mean, that's just the truth of the matter, you know? I mean, it's not up to society to police your own kids.
I'm speechless because I completely agree.
I mean,
100%. I'm sorry.
like
I feel like we're agreeing a lot today, but we both have the same viewpoint on this because I feel
if
the
you
same
don't want
way.
your, if you don't have your kids on social, then they won't get exposed to any of it.
Correct.
They won't get exposed to the bullying. They won't get exposed to the garbage, the influences, all that kind of stuff, and just make it a 21 and up or an 18 and up and be done with it. Social media is for adults, not for kids.
You know, I've always thought that way anyway. I see so many parents, and again, and we've talked about this in the past, but I see so many parents that buy an iPad, buy a phone. Why? I mean, there's a catch-22 in there because I understand sometimes why they get the phone, because it's like you can call your kid and tell them, hey, it's time to get home. But what happened to like calling the neighbor and saying, hey, man, hey, can you send little Jimmy home, man? It's freaking 7:00. You know what I mean? Or, you know what I mean? I keep saying, I know, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But I just struggle with that because we didn't have cell phones when I was growing up, and we still made out okay. And I think you touched on something a long time ago, very long, I think in last season 1, when you touched on that and you said, the problem is the peer pressure you get with kids and other adults. Like the other kid has a cell phone, an iPhone. So then they get to school and they get picked on.
Yeah.
And they get bullied because they don't have the iPhone. It's kind of like the guy that had the what was the cheap phones? The Crickets or whatever, you know, the kid that would have the Cricket versus the kid that had the iPhone. So you get bullied and picked on. But it's like I still feel the parent needs to be the parent at that point, and you need to be the responsible parent. If your kid goes around you, because like some teenagers do, they'll find a way. I mean, it's kind of like when you had sex for the first time. If you had it as a teenager, I did. I found my way around it. My parents tried. They really, trust me, tried. But I was slicker than them because they didn't have time. And maybe that's another problem. You have two working parents, you know what I mean? And so you don't have, you know, the mom or the dad at home keeping an eye out on things. So there's a lot of free time for that kid to get in trouble or do something stupid or whatever, and hard to keep an eye on him. Because my mom and dad were both working ones, and I got away with murder. You know what I mean? In high school, I got completely away with murder, and I had free range to do pretty much whatever the hell I wanted. But I didn't have all these electronic devices either. So, you know, I was going to friends' houses, hanging out, driving over there, taking my car, you know. So,
yeah, totally.
I just don't know if I don't know if I have the answer. I just feel, going back to the TikTok thing, I really feel like it's going to get banned. I really do. I think it's going to happen. They want it to happen, the powers to be. So like you said, so they can control the media flow that comes in. Because, I mean, I am an American and I love my country, but I really believe that we are under a propaganda attack.
We're under siege.
We're under siege. I really feel that way. And I feel like it's changing. And the most of the people in this country have two things. One, they walk around with blinders on like a horse. And the second one is that if it doesn't affect me, I don't care mentality until it affects them, which it's coming, guys. It's already here. If tell me it's not affecting your wallet. Tell me it's not affecting you when you go to the grocery store. Tell me it's not affecting you when you go to get a car. Tell me it's not affecting you when you go to buy a house. Have you seen how much you have to put down on a home? Good luck being a homeowner, being young, coming right out of college and thinking,
oh, it's not happening.
It ain't happening. I mean, hell, it's hard enough to rent. Rent's up 37%. 37%, Mike. And that's not in Florida. I think it's even higher in Florida.
Right.
But nationwide, 37% for the same, pardon my French, guys, for the same fucking place you lived last year or 2 years ago. For some reason or another, now it's more. So think about this. And I'm not trying to be pro-Trump or anything because I think he's an ass clown too. You know what I mean? I think both.
Well, I think the whole system's messed up.
I think the whole system's jacked, but I'd rather have somebody that's mean, has a mean tweet, and has a dumbass mouth, but gets the shit done. And that's just my personal opinion. Than paying, for the same thing I paid for groceries 2 to 3 years ago, that now I pay almost triple. And I get less.
Yeah.
I get less for my dollar.
Right.
That's all I got to say.
And I think the problem with, I think both their policies are bad, but I think the problem with taxing the rich is the rich just leave.
Yes.
They don't have to live here.
That's right.
They can run their businesses here, but they can live somewhere else. So, and there's loopholes because let's face it, all of their donors are rich. All of their donors get affected. So while he's saying that to the masses, oh, vote for me because I'm going to tax 25% to the billionaires. Those are all the people that are funding his campaign. They're not. He's not going to go through with it.
No way.
He'll pass it, and then he'll pass loopholes.
And they'll just work the loophole, and everybody else underneath that will get hit. Any way you slice it, that's how it's going to turn out. I think this is a good one to leave on. Just use your head, guys. If you feel a certain way, I'm not telling you how to vote. I'm just telling you, how do you want to live your life? If it's rougher now than what you were 4 years ago, I think you got the answer. I'll leave it at that. Mikey, got anything before we get out of here? No? Okay, not saying a word. So with that, guys, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe button. Head over to thedailybm.com. You can follow us on all our socials there. And with that, we'll get out of here, and we'll catch you guys on the flip side.
Deuces.